Talking about erectile dysfunction isn't easy. Most of us brush it off, or we blame ourselves saying things like, I lost my mojo. Or people make excuses like, sorry, honey, I had a long day at work. I'm just not feeling it. Guys, with Roman, it is easy to talk about with a real healthcare professional who can prescribe real medication. It's simple, safe, and totally discreet. With Roman, you can get a free online evaluation for ongoing care with ED, all from the comfort and privacy of your home. A healthcare professional will work with you to find the best treatment plan. If medication is appropriate, Roman will ship it to you with free 2-day shipping. The whole process is straightforward, simple, and discreet. Getting started is simple. Just go to getroman.com/Chael and complete an online visit. Go to getroman.com/Chael today. If approved, you'll get $15 off your first order of ED treatment. So at the weigh-ins, a 145-pounder missed weight by over 12 pounds, which means if he's to fight at 145 and he's over 12 pounds, he's 157 and change, 12.3 pounds. Hold the thought, though. The point I'm attempting to make is not only did he not make his weight, he didn't make the weight class above weight. He would officially, as a 45-pounder, he would officially be weighing in as a welterweight. So, an epic miss, and I would never kick a guy when he's down, and that is not my intent, and things probably are not going to look great as far as coming back to the promotion and moving forward. That not at all my intent. I'm trying to go somewhere else, which is, what is the mindset? And I don't know. I'm asking, what is the mindset when that happens? And I've only gone to a scale to personalize this one time, not knowing what I weighed. And I remember it very clear. I was in Evanston, Illinois, the University Nationals, but along with University Nationals, they would run what was called the Cadet World Team Trials. I was a cadet. I was 15 years old, and I was trying to make the world team, and the weight class was 143 pounds. So I got to what's known as a check scale, which means exactly what it said. You check your weight. It's not official because the weigh-ins haven't started. You check your weight. So I check my weight, and it's an hour before the weigh-ins. I was 3.5 pounds over. Now, I have cut weight at this current point of my life, right now, so much that I have it down to a science. I can lose 8 pounds in 1 hour. If I got 6.5 pounds, I'm going to need 45 minutes. And I know exactly what it is I need to do. I need to know what I need to put on. I will know exactly the exercises I need to do perfectly. But when I was 15 years old, I didn't know. So I'm 3.5 pounds overweight, and I have 1 hour. So I put on all my gear, and I'm exercising as much as I can, and I go right to the wire. The scale opens up, and I go in there. I'm soaking wet. I take all my stuff on and get on the scale. I happen to make it. I'm just sharing the mindset of one time in my life where I went to a scale not knowing exactly what I weighed. And I'm curious when somebody goes, because this particular weigh-in I'm discussing, purposely leaving the name out, right? Because I'm not looking to be a jerk to this person, but they weighed in their underwear. And it does make you wonder, did they think they might make it? Because your mind will tell you very bizarre things when you're desperate, not to mention dehydrated. That is a state that most of you will never be in. Most of you will never be dehydrated. And I share that with you because your mind will do some stuff if you're adding fasting on top of that. But your mind will go to some, and I'm just wondering sincerely, did the gentleman think maybe this scale's going to be broken? I'm going to show up to weigh-ins. I know I'm a baker's dozen over, but there is a chance that the scale is broken. There's something known as a scale weighing light or a scale weighing heavy, which again is just what it sounds. You have a check scale, and every athlete that comes to the official scale comes to the curtain and goes, that scale's weighing light. I was a pound under, and I know for sure I was right on. Or vice versa. Hey, what's going on here? I know I'm on weight because of the check scale. This thing has me 1.25 pounds over. What's going on? That's like a real phenomenon at times. Was he thinking like somewhere just, in his twisted logic and crossing fingers, this scale is 12 pounds off. And it just makes me wonder why the underwear. Mayhem Miller had the most classic fail of all time. Mayhem was a foreign country. And he was 26 pounds over in his underwear. So he gets off the scale and drops the underwear and gets back on, as though it was 26-pound underwear. It was hilarious. And I don't know if Mayhem was trying to be funny and trying to be silly. I would trust that he was, but he did it with a straight face and he sold it. And I've seen other people in a like-minded situation where it's much more reasonable, a pound and a quarter, but they will call for the towel and drop their underwear. Kind of going, you don't know what your underwear weighs? And again, this will be something you may not totally be able to relate to, much like being dehydrated is something you probably won't have to deal with. The same goes for what your clothing weighs, right? I mean, fighting, wrestling, one of the few sports or one of the few professions in all of Earth where they will weigh you in before you're allowed to go do your job. But I will just tell you, as somebody who's lived that life, I know what everything in my house weighs, everything. I mean, if I was to go to my scale, and I have a scale it's in my bathroom, digital scale, absolutely set under the Oregon State Athletic Commission, a perfectly calibrated scale. But if I was to go in my bathrobe, I know exactly what my bathrobe weighs, 3.5 pounds. If I was to go in just my underwear, if I was to go in underwear and a pair of shirts, every pair of shoes that I own, I know exactly what they weigh in case I get on the scale. I don't have to strip every time. I know what the shoes weigh. I know what the jacket, I just know what everything weighs. That's just something with living that life that you get used to so that you can constantly check and know what you weigh. So when I see some of these people coming in grossly overweight, there does beg the question, why did you show up? And there is an answer. I just don't know what it is. One, do you think the scale's going to be wrong? Maybe. Two, do you know the scale's going to be right? You're going to be over, but cross your fingers that the commission just allows you to fight. They take a little 10% of your purse, but off you go. Maybe, hey, look, I'm wrong, but what if my opponent is also overweight? Now all of a sudden we do a catch weight. He takes some of my purse, I take some of his purse, and everything's washed. I don't know. I'm making things up right now because I don't have the foggiest idea. And I told you guys the story. I told you guys the story of an unnamed Bellator official who grabbed a guy that did the same thing. Guy was overweight, and the official grabbed him on the way out the door and said, just a little friendly advice, wherever you end up and wherever you go next, because it's not going to be here. But if you're ever going to miss weight by this much in the future, just don't show up. We would buy, I'm sick. We would buy, I'm hurt. That'll be a phone call. We'll put you on the docket down the road. If you show up and we know the reason this fight is scratched, which is purely poor planning and a fail on your part, there's no way to revisit this. And the official was being very kind and very sweet. And even if that sounds like some real tough love, he went out of his way to give this advice to the fighter because he was right. And he was very serious. If you're ever this much over, just don't show up. Don't let all the cameras know. Don't let the media know. Don't bring it to anybody's attention. There's a million reasons to miss a fight. This can't be one of them. And it was crossing my mind. I thought I would bring it to you guys. I mean, it is a nickel's worth of free advice. And I've seen, there was one fail, but it was kind of explained, which was Kelvin Gastelum. Kelvin Gastelum was taking on Tyron Woodley. And Kelvin missed weight by like 7 or 8 pounds. But, and there is a big but, Kelvin had disclosed it. He had documented ahead of time. He let everybody know this was going to happen. Oh, and by the way, he was in the emergency room. The emergency room was giving him IVs. So it was a little bit different, but I do bring to you just by example. That is something much like Kelvin. You want to get in front of it. You knew you were going to miss. Don't make your opponent continue to suffer. Don't make the organization pay for the lights and the cameras, and don't frustrate the commission with all the paperwork. Don't make the media get in position. I mean, right, there's a way. It's kind of important you get in front of it. There's not a whole lot of rules within this sport. That's one of them. There's a reason we check the weight. It's going to be relevant. And to go back to the lesson that was learned at Bellator, sometimes it is best to just not show up.